Good morning, everybody. To all the guests of honor here this morning, National President Dr. Salud Pacalso, Helena Benitez, it's so good to see you. To all the regional directors, to the 505, awardees this morning, to your parents, members of your family. Again, good morning. Because it's already been such a long morning, I promise that my speech will be much shorter than the introduction. It was more than 30 years ago when I stepped up onto the stage at the Insular Life Auditorium at my very first audition, which was for a production of The King and I for Repertory Philippines. After I sang my audition piece, the director asked me if I had a poem or a nursery rhyme prepared or memorized. I replied, and quite proudly, I don't know any poems, but I know my Girl Scout oath. She then laughed and said, go ahead, recite that. With pride in my heart, I raised my hand and proceeded to recite my Girl Scout promise and the Girl Scout law, both of which I had previously done at my investiture only weeks prior. So yeah, I guess it's fair to say that memorizing and reciting the Girl Scout promise and the Girl Scout law directly contributed to the beginnings of my theatrical career. But all joking aside, thank you. I'm very honored to be here this morning as your guest speaker. After receiving the invitation, I then asked exactly what it was I would be speaking to you all about. And the answer I got was this: say something inspirational about reaching your dreams. I then said, okay, where do I start? After hemming and hawing about what to hone in on, I tried to then focus on people that I considered successful, culling names from the worlds of the arts, business, technology, finance, and pop culture. There were a few names that swirled in my head, but one in particular really hit me as a name that represented success, not only in the financial sense, but in the sense of how to live a life that he could truly call his own. Steve Jobs. No, I've never met him, but I have a sense of who he is from the products he's helped to create, to the keynote speeches that he's delivered in that signature black turtleneck, jeans, and sneakers, to that one definitive speech he gave at the Stanford University graduation ceremony in 2005. The following words, in particular, still really resonate with me. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. In other words, follow your own heart. Listen to your own voice and make your own dreams, not someone else's, come true. I've been extremely fortunate in this regard that my own gifts made themselves apparent very early in my life. In this case, my own voice was a very literal thing, as it was my singing that led me on this incredible journey that I'm still on. I'm blessed to have been guided by wonderful teachers, some of whom have taken my voice apart and put it back together to create a stronger instrument. By a mom that wouldn't take no for an answer when it came to making my dreams a reality. A brother whose own musical gifts are inspirational and astounding. I consider him the gift that just keeps on giving. A husband whose support and love only serve to push me even harder and further. A network of friends always at the ready to catch me when I fall and hoist me back up again. And fans whose collective voices ring in my ear, Keep going. You can do it. We believe in you. Sure, I've had the naysayers too, but I never deemed their voices important, except of course when it came time to prove them wrong. However, it isn't always easy to figure out what your soul and heart have always known. A lot of the time, the forces within you that know better are drowned by the outside world in attempts to steer you in directions that are contrary to where you should be heading. Allow yourself time in reflective meditation, prayer, and solace in order to align yourself with what God has planned for you. Strangely enough, it's advice that I didn't myself initially take. For some weird reason that I can only attribute to my attempts at being smart and practical, I went into pre-med. Thankfully, Miss Saigon rescued me and plopped me on the path that I was meant to take. So let this be my little piece of wisdom for you all. If you haven't already figured out what it is that you've been placed on this earth to do, allow yourself space to do so. Before you even begin to fulfill your unique dreams, you have to discover exactly what that dream is. Are you meant for a life in public service? Do you have the aptitude and inclination for the arts? Does watching the stock market turn you on? Does a scalpel in your hand feel absolutely natural? Do you have the voice of an angel? The fleet feet of Mercury? Are you able to leap tall buildings in a single bound? Whatever that dream is, make sure it is your own. Then own it. Work hard. Surround yourself with people that will help you make that dream a reality. Train. And train harder. Fill your mind with knowledge. Drown out the voices of fear and insecurity. Surround yourself with love. And be the best at what it is you want to be. And aim for nothing less than that. Thank you very much.
Bouquet and gift.